I mean, I would like to start with giving the credit to Alex. I mean, what the hell she played in the first set. Yeah, I mean, she was smashing the ball and she was cleaning the lines and all that. So, wow, it's a next generation coming. That she's gonna come up and she's gonna be really good in a couple of years. So, first of all, big credit to her.
Just when everyone thought the road to Wimbledon was already set, a wild card from Berlin flips the entire conversation. Alex Eala's name enters the picture in a way that feels sudden, almost strategically placed. There's no obvious warning, no public buildup, just a decision that raises more questions than answers. And the closer you look at the timing, the more unusual it becomes. So why now, and what part of this story is still being kept quiet?
Jessica, there have been times where you've been tasked to put together a puzzle. There are a lot of pieces to the puzzle tonight, but you finished it and you're through to the finals of the Miami Open. How does that sound?
Oh, amazing. I'm so tired. So tired.
Okay, we're going to let you get off court, but real quick, caught off guard, to say the least. She was going for broke, had nothing to lose. She pushed you to the limits tonight, but you pulled it off. And how were you able? First of all, what do you think about her game? I mean, look at her future.
Yeah, I mean, she's really good tennis player.
She was supposed to be grinding her way through qualifiers, fighting for every point just to earn a place at the table. That was the script, that was the ranking logic, that was the safe prediction everyone made without a second thought. But tennis, just like life, has a funny habit of tearing up the script at the exact moment everyone feels comfortable.
Alexandra Eala is selling out stadiums whether she's playing singles or doubles. Tournaments where the fan attendance wasn't that high in previous years. If I was a tournament director, I would do anything for her to be at my tournament. I'd also make sure that she's on schedule every day, so doubles and singles. Because then people come to watch Alex and then stay for more tennis. But yeah, you can see it in the crowd numbers whether Alex is playing or not. The Filipinos are showing up for their girl, and I love it.
Out of nowhere, with Wimbledon pressure building in the background and the grass court season moving like a runaway train, Alex Eala's name gets thrown into Berlin's main draw conversation through a wild card that nobody really had on their bingo card. And the strange part is not just that it happened, but how quietly it slipped into the system before the entire tennis world started reacting like they had missed a headline hiding in plain sight.
I think her opponent is a very experienced player, and I think Alex definitely handled the center court very well. She had some resistance, especially in the second set. I thought the Thai player Naklo did a very good job battling and trying to compete back, but I think that's also what makes Alex great. She was able to not only respond very well, but close it out, which I think was very important for her. Absolutely, yeah. She's still young, so she obviously has a lot of success this past year. But one thing I love about her. She does continue to think about growing and getting better and improving herself.
To understand why this matters, you have to picture what she was just coming out of, the kind of stretch that tests not only a player's form, but their entire belief in timing and momentum. One week, you are adjusting from clay, trying to find rhythm on a surface that refuses to cooperate, and the next week, you are expected to suddenly switch gears and perform on grass that behaves like it has its own personality. Most players struggle with that transition longer than they admit publicly, even the ones ranked far higher.
Is anyone else living for Alex Eala's run at the Miami Open right now? Eala just defeated Madison Keys in straight sets to get to the fourth round of the tournament. She also becomes the first WTA Filipino player to defeat a former and current Grand Slam champion, and also get her first top 10 win. But that's not all. She's also allegedly dating Coleman Wong. Yes, that Coleman Wong. The Coleman Wong who defeated Ben Shelton to get the biggest win of a player from Hong Kong.
And yet, in the midst of all that uncertainty, something begins to shift around her, resulting in a way that feels almost too convenient to ignore. Wins start stacking where people expected hesitation. Matches start swinging in moments where experience usually takes over. And suddenly conversations that were never meant to include her begin circling her name with increasing curiosity. Then comes the twist that changes everything again, because Berlin does not hand out wild cards like souvenirs. This is a tournament that sits right before Wimbledon, where every entry spot carries weight, reputation, and expectation. Because in tennis, timing is never random. even when it looks random on the surface. What makes this even more intriguing is the contrast between expectation and reality. On paper, she was heading toward qualifiers, the long road, the extra matches, the extra fatigue before even reaching the main stage. But suddenly that entire path gets rerouted, and instead of fighting through early rounds just to survive the draw, she is placed directly into a setting where the spotlight is immediate and unforgiving.
So something about Alex Eala's game really impressed me today, and no, it wasn't her tennis skills, but it was her attitude. There was a point in the second set, I was just watching it, when she was down there, she was a break down, 4-2 down, and she was about to break back, get it on track at 4-3, when the umpire called replay the point. And rather than complain with the umpire, she just listened, got her head down and carried on. She went on to lose that game, and she was then 5-2 down.
And while fans are still trying to understand how that shift happened so quickly, the deeper layer of the story starts to reveal itself through what she has been doing behind the scenes. Because this is not just about one announcement, it is about a pattern that suggests momentum building in a very specific direction. There is always a moment in a player's season where perception starts to catch up with reality, and sometimes that moment arrives earlier than expected. One good run on grass, one unexpected level jump in confidence, and suddenly opponents stop viewing you as a developing talent and start preparing for you like a real threat. Every decision this close to Wimbledon is connected to preparation, form, confidence, and recovery cycles that players guard like secrets. So when a wild card drops at this exact moment, it does not just change a schedule, it disrupts expectations across the entire draw. And that disruption is exactly what makes this story worth watching closely, because now she is not just another name in the bracket, she is a variable that other players have to account for in a week where nobody wants surprises.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Like, most people, including myself, didn't really have a lot of high expectations for her on the play just because her movement hasn't been the greatest on the play, and especially, I think, prior to Rome, the match that really showed me her weakness was probably the one against Leila in Stuttgart. I think that was where she felt more like she wasn't really able to impose her game at all in that match. But
the question that keeps hanging in the air is simple but impossible to ignore. Is this a reward for what has already been shown on court, or is it a signal that something bigger is being quietly built behind the scenes, something that has not fully revealed itself yet? Because if there is one thing tennis history teaches over and over again, it is that the players who get these unexpected doors opened for them right before a major tournament are rarely there by accident. And once that kind of opportunity appears, the entire narrative can shift in a matter of days. So now the stage is set, the wild card is locked in, the Berlin draw is waiting, and Wimbledon is looming just beyond it like a shadow that gets heavier every day. And the reality is that tennis does not really reward prediction, it rewards timing. The right form at the wrong moment disappears quietly. The wrong form at the right moment suddenly becomes a story. And somewhere in between those two extremes is where Berlin now places her, not as a background player anymore, but as someone whose next few matches will be measured differently from everything that came before.